be here. I'm finally out on the internet. I've gotten out of the other cyber place I was in, and this is just excellent. It's so great to be here with you. I'm with
Thank
OBL, the
you.
legend.
Thank you, sir. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you as well today,
Oh
this
yeah,
evening. This has been long awaited, I think, for both of us.
it has.
You know, we've been on this journey now together for like what
Oh my
is
gosh.
it, six? It'll be 6 months,
I
March,
think,
April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months.
wow. Since we first started talking on the feed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I mean, I don't have a lot of friends that I've kept around for 6 months. So this is
I know.
just great.
Right? And like how that it's happened, you know, through it, how that it was all born through screenshots and through a VeVe feed that was super, it was much jankier. I'll say that.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
much
Yeah, it really
jankier
was.
6 months ago,
Completely.
you know. But
But the community
um
was just amazing. I mean, there were just some. I remember the Wizard was there, and who Johnny was there.
yep.
Johnny Dunn. I remember seeing him a
Mm-hmm.
lot talking, and then you were talking, asking all these great questions, and I was like, oh, I'm going to answer some of your questions because I could tell you were serious.
But was I really, like, was I actually asking? Oh, sorry, let me just share this. 2 seconds. Bit of feedback. Got you. 2 seconds. Sorry, bud. But yeah, who else? I remember Botanista. Do you remember Botanista
Nope.
was there? I think. Oh my goodness! Stop. Got you. Okay. But yeah, there was a really small handful of us. I feel like that I sort of talked to on the regular back then.
Yeah, and
Um.
just on the feed. And then we started
Mhm.
talking. It was like the feed is not cutting this. So
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
had
quick
what did I
enough. It
have?
wasn't.
I had Kick or something. I think it was Kick. It was like a really old messaging program I did. I was like, let's jump on there and discuss it. And we just went to town. I mean, you just started sucking in the information. It was amazing.
It
Just
was.
absorbing it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Kick application. I'd never even heard of that before. So I had like that was another whole like it was just like a simple messaging app, but it was kind of getting used to that whole sort of thing. And then um and yeah, it like if I hadn't had that, I don't think it was the instantaneousness of that, you know.
Yeah,
If
the quick
Phoebe had have been,
feedback. Yeah.
yeah, if Phoebe had have been up to, you know, scratch that sort of way, um I think we could have done it through there, but you know,
Yeah. But even today, I still
technology
don't
was kind of
think we
holding
could
us
do
back.
it. I still don't think we could do it today through VV. They still have quite a bit of work to do to get it to that point where two people can kind of keep a conversation going because just constantly scrolling through the feed to try to find out, where your last conversation was. I think we've all given up, even though I did spot you the other day on there. You popped in for a quick presentation. I gave you a
Yeah,
little wave
yeah,
and then,
yeah, yeah. Just pop in kind of when you can, and
yeah,
I think like because we were on it so often back then, like it was kind of, you know, that's sort of where everyone congregated, and then we found Twitter and like sort of branched out to Facebook as well. So it's kind of when we sort of, well, that's sort of when I found that there was other, you know, social media platforms that were kind of interested, and there was other folks out there, you know.
yeah. So you went to Facebook. I didn't really, is that where you met Wendy? Did you get onto Wendy's
Yes,
chats?
yes,
No
yes.
kidding. Oh,
Got on to
wow.
Wendy and Claire, and it would have been like Crypto Khaki. I think I met Crypto Khaki through Twitter. Um,
Okay.
but then yeah, it was just like all the YouTube guys as well. Sort of meeting all them through Twitter and Facebook and adding all them there, and then we eventually all transitioned over to Telegram, and then it's just kind of, you know,
Hmm.
it's kind of
I've
gone.
learned so much about social media since I've started this journey. Like I was never on Twitter before. I set up an account a long time ago just to try to keep track of somebody, and it failed. I was like, I couldn't get used to it, and I just dropped it. And now it's like I need to do it. You've got to
Yeah.
learn these things. And Telegram, I
This.
was never on Telegram. Discord, I thought was the worst
Oh my
program.
God, Discord that's a whole nother
It's a tough one.
universe. But it's so resourceful though. Like it's such a great it's such a great place, you know, for people to congregate. But it's the speed of Discord that I kind of struggle with.
Yeah.
You know, the speed at which everyone writes and everything. It's hard enough to keep up reading as it is, but
oh my gosh, I just have a
but
hard
yeah.
time navigating through it. Every time I use it on my phone and I hit something, it sends me to a different screen, not the screen I wanted. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get to where I want. But now I know how to get to the granola
Yes.
Discord right before the
Yeah.
drops. And those are just, they're priceless.
Fab.
They're golden.
The tips and tricks.
So I'm on there.
Say
Their tips, their trips. Who else
tips
gets on there?
and
Hello
tricks.
Kay,
Yes.
Shadow,
Yes.
Eagle Eye. There's just a bunch of people I've gotten to know there that, and they're I don't know how they do it. They're 2 hours before the drop. They get started, and sometimes they can be there 4 or 5 hours afterwards, especially when those comic books are taking forever
wild.
to come in.
They're committed. I know, and they sit and the excitement, and when you hear everybody getting their pieces, and like everyone's like, yeah, come on, and it's just so like, I really never imagined that from 6 months ago to now that we would now be able to, you know, be in contact with each other in the way that we are. And there's so many barriers have just been like taken away, you know. So let me just go through. I'm on my phone here, so I can't. I'm terrible with the chat and everything. But I've got 12 people watching, 13 people watching right now. We've got the real Randy Chavez. What's happening, bro?
What?
We've
Randy!
got
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Randy's here.
Emoji.
Emoji, yes, I know all these guys. Hey,
Omi Queen.
I gotta tell you, these are fake glasses. I normally use glasses to read, so I'm trying
to. So you can't even.
I can't quite see what you're saying there, but I can see that you're
That's
up
okay.
there,
That's
Randy.
okay, bro. I'll read them out. We've got our Traps Wellington.
Traps.
Welcome.
Man, I know Traps picked up a secret rare Spider-Man from one of my friends' accounts. Man, Traps, I know. I saw it today, the price of that. That was a steal, man. You got that for a steal. Good for you.
Nice. Good going. Good going. We've got the lovely At Peace. Hey, girl. Welcome.
Hey. Hey, hey.
And the lovely Clarissa. Hi, dude.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
gosh,
guys.
so many people. That's amazing.
I know. This is so awesome. Okay, so shall we... Shall I conduct an interview a little bit?
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay. So Max, Orion. When so when did this all happen and like start happening for you? Because you were obviously in it before I was, and you were the one who were like really introduced me to this whole crypto sphere and VeVe sphere. But yeah, how did you kind of come into it? And I know your crypto story is quite extensive as well.
So yeah, I came from the crypto side for sure. Back in early 2015, late 2014, I came across crypto and the idea of it on the internet, just fooling around. All of a sudden there was mentionings of this Bitcoin thing, and just the idea of having a digital money interested me. And then I started learning about the ledger and how the ledger is open and everybody can see it. And it's like, I thought this was really going to transform the way we do transactions, financial transactions, and people aren't going to be able to hide. Like the banks can't hide behind their ledgers and do some funny things that they do back there. And so it was really hard to get Bitcoin where I was. I'm in the States. And so it was really hard.
What year was this? This
was early 2015, I'd say.
Okay.
And so I just kept looking for ways. And basically what you had to do in the States, from what I could tell, because Coinbase wasn't around, Gemini, I think, was just starting to do things, but they didn't have like a place where you could on-ramp your money. And everybody was recommending that basically you go to a Starbucks, you hook up with somebody who's got Bitcoin, go to a Starbucks, you give them cash, they give you the address. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. I can't do that. And then all of a sudden I found that there's an ATM, a Bitcoin ATM in Washington, D.C. And I was like, okay, that's it. So I drove downtown to where it was. It was like in this diner. It was a coffee place. And sure enough, there was just this little ATM that did Bitcoin. So you put the cash in, and then you got this readout back. And I don't have it. Sometimes I have it here just to remind me. There's no Bitcoin on it anymore, but I just have it as a reminder. And so it just put out this receipt that had your wallet address on it, your public and private key. And I just went to town from there, and I started transferring it from place to place and just starting to learn about all the different cryptos. And then I kind of let it go. There was other life situations that were happening. I put my Bitcoin in a safety deposit box and just left it there. Kind of forgot about it. And then came back to it when it started to hit the news, like in 2017 or so. It came back in, and there was this new game that was being announced on the Ethereum blockchain called CryptoKitties. And that fascinated me. So now you can actually play games on the blockchain. I was like, wow, this is pretty neat. So I bought one. I started to breed a couple of them, and then all of a sudden it took down the entire Ethereum network. I mean, it was that popular. It was like, oh my gosh, there's really something here. And so I kept collecting all these CryptoKitties and breeding them and trying to sell them. Now they're not worth anything, by the way, because people just overbred them, and there's like 2 million of them. So the quantity is way too high. And then, we went into that big slump, the crypto slump. Everything went down, and I had to sell my crypto to pay bills and different, life events that were going on. Completely forgot about it, but I still had the apps on my phone, and they still notified me of what Bitcoin was doing. And then all of a sudden, earlier this year, Bitcoin started going back up, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So I went through all my old accounts, all my old wallets, just seeing what Bitcoin, what crypto I could kind of scrape up and get back into crypto. And I found that I had a bunch of Cardano that I had never sold because it was worth like nothing. And it was in a wallet. They had their own wallet back then that was just so clunky. I totally believed in the project. I thought it was a great project. I saw the whiteboard that, I can't remember his name, Hotchkiss did.
Is it Charles?
Charles, yes. He did this whiteboard back in the day, and I remember seeing it. I was like, wow, it just blew me away. But I still had this Bitcoin, so I went ahead and I sold it, or I sold a chunk of it to get back in, and I was researching, and I'm researching, and all this stuff about NFTs comes out, and I'm like, so what's NFTs? And I start looking through, and VeVe comes up, and it's not very expensive. I could buy, a bunch of it. I downloaded the app. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. Researched, Al Khan. I was like, Pokemon, please, Batman. This is too good. So I'd say, and this was February 26th, because you can go into your wallet, and if you go to transactions, you can scroll all the way down to the very first time you opened your wallet. And so that was February the 26th. So that's when I first got on.
February 26th. That's
February
early,
26th,
dude.
yeah. What
It's
about
early,
you?
Bro.
You must be around there.
Yeah, I think I'm like middle of March-ish.
Okay.
I think.
Well, you can find out later. You just scroll down.
I'll
it's
check.
always there.
Yeah, I'll
you
check.
just
I'll
check
double
your
check.
wallet transactions.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, it was around that time, and that's so interesting. So it was, you said Cardano, and that sort of coming back into its own, and then
That's it. It was worth so much
from
more.
that it was everything else. It sort of
So I
led
was
from
able
that.
to use that to jump into other projects, and so I got some. I started dabbling some other things. I got some VeChain, which I really believe in as well. I think that's a great one to be in, and I think we talked about some of this at the beginning, right? What I was in. and stuff. And then now I'm such a believer in Omi that I don't have my V chain anymore because I sold it to buy more
Shut up.
Omi. I
Shut
have I
up.
have a
No, you
little bit of
didn't.
Cardano left because I've been selling it all to get into more Omi, and now I'm discovering new NFTs. So I'm using a little bit of it to dabble in other NFTs besides VeVe, but don't tell everybody that, okay? Because
Okay.
there's some
Yeah,
frogs out
we'll
there
keep
that
it
look
between us.
really good. Yeah.
We'll
And
keep it between us.
yeah, so now I'm basically all in Omi because it's such a no-brainer, and it was such a no-brainer from a long time ago that every time it started dipping, I was picking up more of it.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I got
mad.
in
Oh,
right
that's
before
interesting.
it took off. That first very sharp,
Yes, yes,
you see that
yes.
big pickup. I got in right before then, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. I got in just in time, buckle up. And somehow, for
Wow.
some reason, it just came back down. But I imagine people were taking profits who bought in even earlier. And now it's
Oh
just been a
yeah,
waiting game.
of course. I
But
think
there's
that
never been any doubt.
yeah, the fact that this is was the token only released this year, or has that been on the go for like
I think
4 years as
it's
well?
been there since the beginning. Yeah, the
Okay.
token has
So
been there
yeah,
since the beginning. So
so
people have
so the
gotten in much earlier, and I think it's incredibly early that we're getting in at half a penny. I mean, half a penny.
oh yeah,
But people have gotten in with 2 extra zeros, I think. You just add 2 extra zeros on.
you know what I mean.
So
And folks that have been looking at this have been looking at like um the exchanges for 4 years and have seen such little movement, and then
mm,
it's relative, really, isn't it? Like people from 3-4 years ago looking at that now, looking at the price, will be like, holy crap, like
yeah.
it's went to the moon already for them,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh, this is going to be
for
like
us.
Bitcoin, where people look back and see, oh my gosh, Bitcoin was only 3 cents at one time. If that, when it first started,
Uh-huh.
it was worth nothing. You were lucky to get a little valuation on it.
Yep.
And now look at it, and people are going to be like, gosh, why wasn't I
Excuse
in
me.
it back then? And I think it's going to be
I
the
know.
same
It's
thing with
always the
Omi.
case. It's always the
Yeah.
flipping case, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Right, I will check in on these. We got a couple more commentos. Let's see. Oh, we've got Alex. Sir
Hey,
Alex, the
Alex,
Reverend.
the Rev.
What's happening, the
Yes.
Rev? Nice to see you, lad. Um, okay, we've also got Taps. We've got Jenny.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going,
hey.
Jenny? We've got the Gil.
Oh my
How's it
gosh, the
going,
Gil, you're
man?
one of the first that I started watching, and I used to listen to all your Medium articles that you read. I loved it.
Yes.
I never, did 1.5 speed on it. I wanted to hear it. You had a really nice, calming voice, and you really introduced me into getting into the Medium articles because I was like, where are you getting this information from? And so I
Mm.
started researching into more of the Medium articles because it's kind of hard to find some of the Medium articles because they're like in two different places. You've got VeVe and you've got a Comey, and that was
Yeah,
my
I think
first time learning about Medium.
there was a little sorry, I've got something in my eye. Of course I do.
Oh
This
yeah,
always
yeah.
happens.
Here, let me get that for you.
Oh, cheers, buddy, cheers. Um, yeah, they were saying something about the medium articles and the emails or something, and where they were coming from. They had to be switched up or something like that. So
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's been rectified, I think. Okay, so what's happening, Gail? Nice to have you, lad. Got the
yeah.
all me
Oh
homies.
my gosh, I
All
remember
my
watching you guys. You guys are the
homies.
best, by the way. I've
Dude,
already said so much great things about you. There's really
legends.
no more to say. Absolutely.
Legends.
Watching you guys, just your dynamic together, your energy together, it's so positive. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wish I could be like that.
unbelievable.
I wish I could get my girlfriend to be as positive as that. She just sort of
I
looks
know.
at me like, oh yeah, so can you get that money out? Like, let's go
Yeah, I
on a
know.
trip or
Oh,
something. Like,
listen.
no. So I'm kind of worried that when we do get the MTL, all these people have been asking me, then they're gonna be like, oh, so now you can start spending this money on something else. And I'm gonna be like,
Mm,
these things are still going
mm.
up, buddy. I'm not, just because I can doesn't mean I'm going to do it. So don't expect me to all of a sudden start, taking everybody out to dinner. Maybe a couple, but
This
not
is
too many.
it. This is it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got our VR landlord. What's happening, bro?
Hey.
Shout outs for both. Is that Jace? I can't, I can't read. Is it Jace,
Maybe.
Jace?
I think
What's
so.
happening,
Yeah. Hey
everyone?
there.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Yeah.
You legends. Fam, always out to support. Absolute legends, dude. So yeah, man. So okay, let's sort of trace back a little bit. So your
Yeah.
first collectibles, what were the first ones that you kind of got into and were
I
able to
got
buy?
something really cheap just to see how the process was. It wasn't anything special. Um, and I can't quite remember. It may have been a unicorno. Just something small, just to see how the transaction was. I still wasn't 100% sure, and it just seemed like a commitment. And then I went for a Harley Quinn because she was my favorite. I was like, that's too good. So I got the one with her on the roller skates, kind of jumping in the
Oh,
air.
class,
And it just so
class.
happened that I was starting to learn to roller skate. That was my
Oh
COVID thing to
yes!
do. I had a friend who used to do roller derby, and she's like, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Let's learn how to roller skate. So I was just learning how to roller skate, and I was like, okay, Harley Quinn,
Signs,
who is my
signs.
bad girl. She's
All
my
these
favorite bad
signs
girl out
just
there.
lining
Yeah,
up.
isn't
I
that funny?
remember that
Yeah,
video. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
the evidence. I remember you sent me the evidence of that video. You good.
Oh,
You're
I should.
good,
Oh,
dude.
when I took a fall, I sent that to you,
Yes!
didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
can't say I'm
good,
a lot
though.
better, but I've learned how to fall, so it's not. I can
That's it.
take a
And as
fall.
long as,
Once you learn how
listen,
to
as long as you
fall,
get back up,
the
and
rest. There you
exactly.
go. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
And I still wanted to
Amazing,
get
dude.
Big Barda too, and she was $50, and I'm like, I'm on a budget. That's a lot of money still to get a Big Barda, so I missed out on her. And there were a lot of others I wanted to get, and all of a sudden, within I think 3-4 days, they all went out. There were people on the feed saying, "Okay, there's 10 more of these, 20 more of these," and then the next day, bam, they're all gone
Gone,
and
just like that.
gone. I
Insane.
know, it was insane.
My
But I've
God.
got her. I just picked her up the other day because I was able to sell a few things, and I
Nice.
picked up
Congrats.
Starfire, Big Barda. I'm trying to complete some of my sets now before this goes parabolic. So if I had some
Mm.
duplicates of things, I sold them to fill up some of these sets
Yeah, flipping right.
because it's
Flipping right.
coming. Yeah, it's
Oh,
coming.
it's
When you start to
I
look at the
think
quantity that's left, it reminds me of back then when they were
mm,
all being sold out. If you look, some of them are well under 100. There's only like 50 of this, 60 of that, and
mm.
those are going to go within very soon, I think.
And yeah, I think with the migration, with the that is going to bring a huge amount of accessibility.
Oh,
I feel like
absolutely.
a
Yeah.
huge amount and a huge amount of exposure as well, because I know there's a lot of games um on, well, not games, but a lot of like marketplaces and things that are already quite established on Immutable X. So
Mm,
for us to kind of just slip in and like, we're kind of gonna get all of that support from all the other people and companies that are already involved in that as well, and have,
absolutely.
who have been successful already with,
Yeah, and that
building their company and stuff with them.
yeah, and OMI is going to be on the Ethereum blockchain, which means that exchanges are going to be able to. It's going to be a lot easier for them to carry our coin
Mm,
or token, and that means it'll be so much easier for people to go from Ethereum to OMI, and then use that in the on the app, and that's going to be great.
it's gonna, you
Because
know what, you're gonna need. I was actually thinking about this, and I haven't really been in the exchanges in a wee while, or
oh,
like,
okay,
put in any money or anything. So I actually helped somebody out. I had to refresh my memory. I helped somebody the other day, and they were like, I'm looking to buy, some Omi and stuff. And it was actually my best friend. It was her friend that she told about VeVe, and I was like, I needed to brush
oh,
off the
refresh.
dust a little bit and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right, get, and it was just that simple, like, send this to this, and then from here to here, and then from here to here, and then like
yeah.
just try as
Once you
simply
get
as
the
possible.
process down, it's just certain steps, and if you
Yeah,
just follow those steps, there's no problem to it. It's just that first initial, there's just so much new information coming
Oh,
in.
it's crazy. It's
But
crazy.
once you get it down, it's like, yeah, Binance to which one are you doing? Cardano, or what do you
It,
use to switch over to? You're using not Bitforex, you're using the other one, aren't you?
Ascendex, yeah,
Ascendex,
Ascendex.
yeah.
And then yeah, it would have been like back 6 months ago. Remember, you were saying to use XRP for the transfer and all of that. Well,
XRP.
you can't. Is that not really expensive now in comparison to what it was
Is it?
six
I don't
months
know, but
ago?
it
I'm
shouldn't
not
matter.
sure.
Hello. Got somebody peeking in the door behind me.
Hi, hi.
She stepped out again. She thinks this is
Um,
all very amusing. So
it is. It is. I'm sure she's wondering
I mean,
what is
what
going
am I doing?
on right now.
When this came in the mail, this is like an authentic 1980s mask that they would have used for Halloween back in the
It
day.
looks
So I
mint,
just picked it up
dude.
off eBay, and she's
I'm so
like, "Oh
sorry.
boy, who
It's
am I with
absolutely
right now?"
mint.
But
It looks, you know what? It looks like an animated face. It
oh,
almost looked
good,
like an
as it should. You've
augmented
never seen the
reality, like
program, have you?
face. No,
You never saw Max Headroom?
I've only seen it in Crypto Far West's
Okay.
videos.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun. And I think it originated in England, if I'm correct. I
Oh,
think
for
it was
real?
an English program that then America took on. You know, we do that a lot with your shows. We
Oh,
take them and
yeah,
convert
yeah.
them into our shows. So yeah, I remember it
Classic.
was he
I know
fascinated me back in the day.
um you guys have EastEnders. Do you know what that is? It's like a soap.
I remember EastEnders was huge when I was in England. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's huge here.
Is it
It's
still
well,
big after all these
oh, it's
years?
huge. Oh,
No, it's still going.
it'll never go away. And
That's
Coronation Street as well. But I remember something super interesting that you
wow.
guys are like 10 years behind in this storyline in
Really?
comparison to us here, yeah, which is super weird. That's
Well,
good.
here people that like to watch EastEnders and things like that, they're called Anglophiles. And
Oh,
oh
what
yeah,
is
there's a
that?
word
What
for
does
it. Like
that mean?
it means there's a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of guys can say that their girlfriends are Anglophiles. And so
Okay.
they just love to watch English period pieces and just English drama shows. And
Like
I
Downton
think,
Abbey and all of
oh
that
my
sort of
gosh,
thing.
I'm
Okay,
sure all
got
the
you.
guys can relate to this here. But
Yeah.
we've got something called BritBox, which is a streaming
Yes, yes,
service that you
yes,
pay.
yes.
Yeah, and so yeah,
Class.
it's a big thing here. There is an
Oh,
English
that's
show that I
crazy.
just found on Apple TV called Ted Lasso. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that's a
No, I
lot of
haven't heard
fun.
of it.
It's a
Haven't heard of
comedy. It's about an American coach who goes to England to coach soccer, and he has no clue about it. But he's got a
it.
way
No.
of bringing people together, so it's got this nice feeling to it. A lot of
Class.
fun
I'll
though.
check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of cross community and cross world, sharing of
Mm-hmm.
media, this kind of leads, not really, but it kind of leads into one of the topics that we wanted to cover today, and that is, can you say it? I don't want to say it. I don't want to butcher it. Um, is there a
What is
French
it?
way to say it? Is it Le Petit
Oh
Prince?
yes, Le Petit Prince. I even have the book right here.
Le
This book was given
Oh
to me when I was a
no!
little kid in French. And I was told, I know it's got
Stop.
some markings on it right here, but it's been on my bookshelf since I was a little kid. I've always brought it with me. I lived in
No.
France when I was just a little kid, so I learned some French and learning to read in French.
Oh
But I've
my
always had this,
God.
and this is like a 1946 edition. So it's
Holy
Antoine de
crap.
Exupéry, and he was a
Okay.
pilot in World War. He was actually a pilot before World War II, and then he signed up, of course, because what are you going to do? Your
Yeah,
country's
yeah,
invaded.
everybody.
You've got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
And
this is the author of this book was a pilot,
that's
is
the
what you're.
author. Yeah.
Okay,
He was
okay.
a pilot. Uh-huh.
Wow.
And I think before the war, he was delivering mail to Africa and things from France. He was doing things like that. Which, of course, before World War II, planes were a real novelty. It was a
Mm.
special thing to be able to be a pilot. But he was a cousin of my grandfather, and they used to spend summers together. And they both became pilots together, and they flew together.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Holy crap.
Yeah, yeah. So when I heard that it was on VeVe that the Little Prince was coming, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is
Shut
not in a
up.
million years would I ever think that a classic like the Little Prince would be on here. It's just I know they had artists, and we've got all the pop culture and the superheroes, which I love. I think they're great. Batman is amazing. But the Little Prince, that's just like, where does that come from? Wow. But I
Right.
think it's going to open us up to a whole new field of people.
It's
And
it's absolutely huge. I have to say that I had never heard of the story. I've heard of the Little
okay.
Princess. I've heard
Uh-huh.
of that story, but I haven't heard of the Little Prince, so I definitely have to look into it. But I've seen that it's
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
most translated book next into so many other language, next to the Bible, I
I
believe,
know.
is what it
I
said
know.
in one of those promo videos.
Yeah,
Like,
200 million
what?
sold into converted. It's a true classic. It really is.
And like
Yeah.
the like a sort of nutshell of the story. Can you give me like a little
Oh my gosh, it's been so
nutshell of the?
long, but he traveled from
Okay.
planet to planet. And oh my gosh, I have not read this book, and I can't age myself, but since I was just a little kid. But he gets these little lessons on each of the places that he goes, and he's got a fox with him, and I they're just these little gems, and I can't think of any of them right now. I need to sit back
That's,
down and read it
I'll
again.
need to check it out as well,
I
100%.
definitely have to check it out. There are plays that come into town that I've seen on it, and they've made it into animated movies and things.
Wow.
It's just super great. Yeah.
Wow, dude, is that not like a little bit magical? Just a little bit like with that connection
I
to
felt that,
you,
I was like,
to
I was so
and
excited.
like,
I had to like say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys did this. This is,
oh mate. And
yeah.
the fact that you're in this so early, you've been in this from the start. You've become our serious pillar in this community with onboarding people and helping people understand and being, all of
Mm.
these things. And now for this to just, it's like the cherry on top. I feel like it's like
Oh,
it's
I
your
feel,
good karma coming back around.
I
Like
feel
this
like
is,
it's a gift. It's a real gift to me that they did this, because
yeah.
now I've got a real excuse to send it. My whole family's tired of hearing me talk about VV. They don't reply to my texts anymore. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got Marvel. Look out. But when I saw the Little Prince, I was like, oh my God, you're not going to believe it. The Little Prince is coming. And all my nephews, nieces and nephews are all getting the Little Prince once they come
Oh,
out.
of
So I
course.
plan on
Of
buying them all. And
course.
then that's going to force their parents, my cousins, my family, they're going to have to download the app now, because
It's gonna be a
they're getting an
family
NFT.
affair. It's
It's
gonna
going to
have
be
to
a
be.
family affair. Yeah.
It's gonna have to be like that. It's just, and it's gonna bring. It's like a new. Like you've had. How long have you had that book? Like that's a
I've had
really
it
long
since I
time.
was about 8 years old.
Eight
I
years
remember my
old.
mother came in and gave it to me and was like, "Listen, he's a relative of yours. You know, you need to hold on to it and read
And
it."
that's
And
so awesome that you've kept
so,
it as
yeah,
well. You've
yeah,
kept it that
yeah.
long
I've
though.
always kept it. It's a classic. How you don't let those things go.
Mm.
But now I'm
And
going
you
to
know
go
what it
back
is?
and reread it.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
that's in French, that version you
It
have?
is. I'm not. I can't tell you that I'm going to actually go back and read it in French, because, I was in grade school when I was
Mm.
in there. What was it? Maybe 7 when I left. So my reading is. I haven't kept it up like I should. I might get the English version and pick it up. But
Mm.
yeah.
No, definitely. Gonna have to check it out because it's if
Mm.
it's a classic and it's something that it's known around the freaking world. Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
just, you know.
And I already know Princess Bubblegum in my collection is already asking me when is the Little Prince coming, because she wants to hang with him
She
completely.
needs a
That
she needs a
she
partner,
needs a prince.
100%.
She
She
needs a
needs a
prince to
prince to
come in.
collect
Yeah.
to fill the gap.
Yeah.
100%. Man, this is it's incredible. And
Yeah.
kind of just referring back to the book that you have and like and how you've had it since you were a little kid, and now I don't know if we'll ever get you know, like a book version of like a comic book style situation, but with the book.
Yes.
I think that would be awesome
I think they
if they
have
ever
to,
got to
I think
that.
eventually they're going to do that. I mean,
That would be awesome.
it's seriously going to open up. Think about it on an iPad. Well, first, I think I would like to see the app designed for an iPad, because right now when you put it on an iPad, it's basically just the iPhone version,
Oh,
just in a
is it? It's like
larger,
small. Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
it's just
It
kind
doesn't
of blown up.
scale.
I'd like to see it
Interesting.
formatted for an iPad, and then you can bring out a book or even a comic, but you could bring out these books and kids could read them on an iPad so easily. And
Yeah.
I think The Little Prince would open it up and you could have all the other kids' books in there. Because I don't know about other parents, but I certainly had my little kids on iPads when they were little, you know, to do things and to start reading and stuff. And
Yeah.
I noticed, now I don't know what licensor exactly has it. I think Taps did a video on the licensor that's bringing out The Little Prince, but there's also another licensor that has The Little Prince in the States as well. And they do
Oh,
books like
interesting.
Spot. I don't know if you know the Spot books. They're this dog and it's like a red
Yes.
ball and stuff.
Oh,
I mean, can you
yes.
imagine books like that coming out
Dude, I was
where the
thinking like
parents can be there
the
and
Hungry
they can read the
Caterpillar.
book? Yes, the caterpillar.
Oh, come
And so
on.
you've got the book, and then you can get the NFT, and now your kids can take the caterpillar in AR
Mm.
and put it in their
Mm.
room, and they can do things with it, and then they still have the book there that they can read. I think we've only scratched the surface on the possibilities of what is happening right now. And the fact that
Agreed.
it's on the blockchain, that now the digital world it has more value to people to participate in it, like to create content, because now you can actually get revenue that goes on, you know, that you get this perpetual revenue, the incentives for people to want to create. I think we're only just seeing the beginning of it right now. It's going to be transformational.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
My wee dog's down here. He's
You've got a little
scratching about.
doggy.
Little doggo. He's just scratching about
Oh.
here. But yeah, I think it really is like some of the girls were saying, and Claire was saying yesterday that the the use of VeVe for connecting with children and connecting with them on a whole new level, you know, on a digital level. And it's usually the kids coming to the adults being like, oh, check out this digital cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's all of us being like, here, kids, check this
Yeah.
out, you know, and like that's creating a bridge. I feel like you know, kids are just drawn to new technical things and cool technology.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls were saying that I think it was Mandy said that it will be a much, well, maybe not for all kids, but for some it'll be an easier way for them to engage in reading, and you know, having that cool technical layer will make reading more appealing, possibly. Um, and for It's just so cool to see your original version, and it could possibly be like digitized, and you could possibly read something like that with your kids one
Oh my
day
gosh.
in a
Yeah.
digital way.
Especially,
That's just so crazy.
yeah, you know, and just talking to you now, and you mentioned Claire, because I know Claire, that's what she does, is
Hmm.
she works with kids that have been battered or abused. And I believe she's mentioned in the past that she's been able to use already
Hmm.
the AR features to kind of communicate with some of her children that she
Yep.
works with. And that to me is amazing. And I'm just thinking now that kids, you know, as your mind is developing, you're kind of in a fantasy world, right? I mean, things are alive that aren't real. You know, the stories and Bambi and superheroes, they're like living things to kids. And now you can actually take it in AR and put it in a real world situation and show it to them, and they're like, yes, that's what I've been talking about, you know,
Straight
that's
out
Superman out
of your
there,
imagination.
straight out. And now
Yes.
they're going to see it there. So I think eventually they're going to be drawn to it in a very strong way, especially the much smaller ones. As they get a bit older, they want maybe a bit more interaction than
Mhm.
seeing it there. But I think
Mhm.
that's coming. I think we're going to have some games that are going to be a lot of
Oh,
fun for
definitely.
kids to play in AR.
Definitely.
That's where I want to see it, is in that augmented reality, kind of like that Street Fighter game that was going around, you know, when
Oh
we were
yeah,
first
yeah. I'll touch on
onboarding.
that.
All those,
Let
remember
me.
all those cool
Oh,
things that were
dude.
out there that we were all kind of speculating on? This is
Was
speculation, and where did this come from? It's already out there, right? I mean, somebody's working on it, and those were years old. So I can only imagine what's coming down the road.
yeah, man. So
Yeah.
let me just check in on these wee
Yeah,
comments
yeah.
because I got a couple here. So these are from a wee while ago. So VV Landlord says, I remember when you were just thinking about making a channel on New to Crypto Guys channel. Yes, that was so long ago. And
Wow.
yeah, New to Crypto Guy, and that was one of the first. I think it was my first facial face. Oh, it was so terrible. It was on my laptop. You couldn't see anything. I was a pixelated mess.
Oh
But
yeah, I
yeah,
remember
he was the
watching
first
him.
one.
He was one of the ones that motivated me to also do
Yeah.
videos and
Mhm.
stuff. He was
Legend.
motivational, yeah.
Legend. We got dancing,
Yeah.
dancing in the arena. What's up, my dudes? So lovely to see Orion's face live. Yes, indeed, indeed. The Gil, these two put the O in OG. Oh my God, you're a legend.
Ah,
Gil, thank you, brother. You're a legend, dude. And Jace says he knows EastEnders. See, I can't talk and read at the same time. It is impossible.
you're doing good.
Geo might just got here. Orion looks exactly as I pictured. Right, right. You know exactly. At peace. I thought the same when I saw that it was announced. It took me back about 48 years, she says, about the book and
Yeah.
about the Little Prince. That's amazing. See, it's really transporting people back to their
Mm.
childhoods in so
Mm-hmm.
many ways, you know, with the comic books, with classical literature, you know, with artists and music. They're all everything is harping back. I'm finding everything with
Yes.
VeVe,
And now
you
think,
know.
now parents who grew up with it can now introduce it to their children in this new medium that
Mhm.
speaks to children. You know, it's one thing
Mhm.
to give your child a book, which is great. I totally encourage it. You know, books are great, but there's also they're fascinated by iPad and digital and what the possibilities are. And now we can bring the Little Prince into that world, and that's just going to
Yeah.
make them more interested in and what's the story. And yeah,
And
and
I think it's that the I think what a lot of what we're sort of scared of in moving forward with sort of oh sorry, let me just finish these. And
yeah, yeah.
Claire just popped in and
Hey
she as we were
Claire,
saying about her, she
oh
must
my
have
gosh,
heard
I
us.
love your pics. I love
They're
them.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. But yes, so yeah, the evolution of technology, I think, scares a lot of people in a lot of ways because we're going to
Mm,
possibly lose that traditional, you know, the traditionalness that kind of got us here. I feel like people are scared of losing that. And something like The Little Prince, because it's so
yes,
classical, because it's so well known, world renowned, to show that you can take a classic and you can keep its classical nature and its, you know, its core, and you can digitize it into the future. You can give it like a renaissance of its own kind of thing.
exactly.
Using these platforms and using this technology, I really feel like, you know, the younger generations may not have picked up a book and read that, but they might gravitate towards something a bit more digital.
Absolutely. And
You know.
this is just the beginning. I mean, right now they're just barely animating some of these, right? Now,
Mm,
I imagine you've seen some crypto crayons videos,
mm-hmm.
because those are
Have indeed.
just, I mean, those were blowing me away. He's been into AR for a long time, and there's other companies out there that are going a bit further than what VeVe has done so far. But I know VeVe is just, it's a matter of catching up. And so I could easily see us seeing the Little Prince walking around, you know,
Oh,
introducing a planet where the Little Prince can walk on it. And suddenly you start to see this animated story playing out in front of you with the collectibles. I think it's, seriously, we're so at the
oh,
beginning of the
it's gonna be insane.
possibilities, yeah, of
Oh,
what's going to happen. I really believe
Oscar.
it. And we're here, we're at the beginning. I mean, this is historical that we've been here and participated in the very first comics that have been put on the blockchain,
Sorry,
you know.
sorry guys.
No,
Give me
it's
two. Give me 2 seconds.
sure,
Can
they need some
and there's a wee.
attention.
I know.
Oh, I wish
I'm
I
gonna
could
miss
read
them.
some of those.
It says, agree, Orion. It looks, agreed, Orion looks as I imagined. And yes, popped in and heard my name. It was surreal. 2 seconds.
Oh, oh yeah. I just wanted this, just a shout out to this entire community. Well, you know, I've never felt stronger and closer to a community as I have with
Sorry.
Comey and VeVe. And
So
yeah, so
sorry.
I was just saying, I was just shouting out to the entire community that this is really the closest I've ever felt to a real community online, you know, of
Amen.
people.
Amen.
And
Same.
I know as more and more people start onboarding and everything starts to get flooded with new people, I'm hoping that we can still keep some of what we've developed over the past 6 months.
Oh, of
Um,
course. Like that's like
yeah.
I know that this is only gonna get bigger, and we really need, like I've said this to the girls and like a lot of the OGs, we really need to stick together because and be the foundation for this, because this is going to explode.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Explode.
And I don't think
Jess,
you
I love
guys
you. You're
realize
amazing, Jess.
just yet, hey Jeff, I don't think you realize quite just yet just how powerful the women of VeVe are to communicating this and just a
Listen,
different perspective and to showing that community, you know, and just having your own community there where it's, what is it, 6 or 7 of you now that are up interviewing and discussing
yeah,
it
well
from your
listen.
viewpoints. Yes.
Listen. So we've got Discord now, we've got Twitter, but we have a tweet like
You
there's
have
what
a Twitter. Okay.
60 women. 60
No.
OE
Oh my
women.
goodness.
Yes, bro.
Wow.
And there's more out there. There's more, and that's the ones that I know of specifically on Twitter. But there's Discord, there's Facebook, there's a huge amount of women in this community that need space and need
Oh,
a
and
voice,
just to have your
and
perspectives, yes,
totally,
and your view of it, and then that goes back to Akomi too, and now they can bring it so that it's inclusive for everybody. If it's just guys talking, you know, we're going to talk about it in a certain way, and then they're going to kind of go in that direction. So we so need that counterbalance to keep it something that in the long run we can all enjoy, and it's not just going to be
definitely.
some guy collectibles or comics that, you know, 99% are guys that are into it. No, we need something where it's everybody is into it.
100%. And I
Yeah.
think that like you obviously were, you took the time to really help me out and got me into this shit, and your encouragement, your support along with another like handful of guys was really
Mm.
what, and my other half as well, like that was the real thing that helped me to kind of get into this, whatever this is. And then and then like I knew once I was in, I had Claire and that like that little sort of support group, and then Wendy, and then it grew with Crypto Baby, and then it
Oh
just
my
grew and
gosh,
grew. And
Wendy is so awesome.
yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
knew that I needed, and that this community needed um more voices and more confidence injected, because you're covering you're covering crypto here, you're covering investment, you're covering, you know,
Yes.
legal and marketing, and there's so many aspects that are included in this project, which, you know, you're right, you know, men have a perspective, but life is about balance in my perspective, and if something is going to really take off and succeed, you need to have, you know, it needs to be, you know,
Absolutely. And
and
shout
if
out
it's
for
not,
Wendy for making that
so
platform that is on YouTube, because the
yeah,
YouTube
man.
version, I know you have others. I just saw the Discord today, but you know, Wendy hosting those YouTubes is just classic, and I
It was
love to
the
see those.
It's super exciting,
Yeah.
and what's coming through this, like through the women of VeVe, we have so much exciting stuff coming, and it's gonna
Mm.
be, and I've been saying like, oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, here he is.
Disconnected. I'm
All right,
back.
you're okay. You're back?
That was
He's
just a
back. He's
glitch, just a
back.
solar flare. It was a
The
small
solar
solar
flare.
flare that took out one satellite, but I fixed it.
Oh, good. But yeah, but no, honestly, like this, and having, obviously all of the women have their own platforms, but we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have like this one sort of hub that all the women can contribute to, and that it's gonna just be this incredible catalog of voices, and it's just gonna be
Just
mint.
brilliant.
So yeah, it's
Brilliant.
in the works.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be exciting. Um,
Absolutely. I mean, women
and
are the center of community. They really are. So for you to set up a center of community is so powerful for this platform. I really think so.
totally, dude.
And for going
Totally,
into
man.
the VV verse, you know, because that
Well, listen, I'll
it
go
can get
into
crazy.
the comments because we've got a
Oh
couple
yeah.
of comments here about VVing, VV versing. Let me see. Where was it? Can't wait. Yeah, dancing. You wait, the VV verse is gonna be lit. I agree, and Jess agrees. Who else we got? Oh, hi from Claire's husband.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh my
hi,
gosh,
Gary.
no way.
How's it going? Welcome, bud. Make sure you add all of us. If
Hats
you're on
off.
Twitter, make sure you add us, dude.
Yes.
Claire. Get him
Good for
in,
him.
Claire.
He's
Get him
stepping
in.
out.
Flipping
I like
right.
that.
Dancing. Okay. We're all going to be chilling in in VV City, in our homes, in our houses, and in a couple of years down the road, we're going to be crashing from our investments.
Oh
Sorry, not
yes.
crashing. We're going to be cashing in from our investments.
It's
Oh,
going to be hard
dude,
though. I'm telling you, I'm already,
that.
a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
my collectibles I only have one of, and
Same,
they're going up,
same.
but I don't, I'm going to have a hard time parting with them. It's going
It's
to
gonna
be
be.
tough, even though it's going
It
to
is.
be, you know, a wonderful payday to be able to sell some of them, but it's like, I want to keep it. I
It's gonna
really
be
want to keep it.
difficult. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
difficult.
difficult. Yeah. I
Traps.
came in
Excited
thinking,
for the
oh yeah,
women of
I'm just going
VV.
to flip it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Traps.
I know.
Hey.
Let me just, go through these here. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, did you see the
Yeah.
one from Jess? Orion says Jess
Hey,
is a
Jess.
huge fan. She's a
Oh, thank
huge
you.
fan, bud.
I know. I got to do more videos. I'm sorry. I've been slacking. I've been slacking.
We got Hilda. Hello, my love.
Hello.
Dancing. Hell yeah, a lot of these dudes out here are welcoming, with a big old hug. Amen. Orion, you are truly a gem. I agree.
Mm.
Agree. And we got Wendy. Girl, what's that
Hey,
going on?
Wendy.
Wendy, how's that going?
Wendy.
Right, Gareth here for real. No other community is this huge for women, families, and pretty much everyone. The whole world will know and love Vivi and Labbits. Amen, girl.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wendy says she loves your mask, but see, it's getting
I
a
was
good
wondering.
reception. It's
Good,
getting a
good.
good
Because when I looked in the
reception.
mirror, I thought, I don't know if this is going to work out. But
You're creeping yourself
I
out.
guess it does. I was creeping myself out. Yes. My girlfriend was like, "No, you can't do it. You can't." So, but I think it's fun. It's fun.
I think it looks mint. It looks mint.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Looks mint, dude. Jess, much love to all the women of VeVe, 100% queens, and our Wendy.
Hmm.
Super women. Oh, thanks, dude. So yeah, this is oh, we got the grabs. Grab it
Hey,
done. How's it going? Oh man, I need to. Oh, and there's a crypto baby too. Hi,
hey,
girl. How's
Crypto.
it
I heard
going?
big things about you last night. I missed it, but I heard big
Yeah, dude.
things.
Oh my
You
God.
stepped up.
I was in my kitchen and
Uh-huh.
I was cooking and I was like, I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, like
Oh,
started going for it because I heard her voice. I was like, on, come
yeah.
on.
Oh, I
Do you know
wish
what I
I'd
mean?
seen it. Some of these things
That
need to
was,
be recorded. Somebody's got to record them and put
I
them
think
on
it
YouTube or
was,
something.
I
Oh,
think
what?
it
Oh,
might
well,
have
now
been
I'm going back and
streamed.
looking. Who do you
I
think
think it might
streamed
have been
it?
streamed. I think there was a couple of guys.
People put it on YouTube? I'm
I
gonna look
think there
for it.
might have been. Have a wee check. Have a wee
Yeah, I'm
check.
gonna have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But it's just to see the girls coming out of their shell bit by bit,
Oh
getting out there
yeah,
with the lads, getting the videos on the go,
absolutely.
getting the interviews, just getting this like it's like a ripple and it just grows and grows and grows and it's it's gonna be unstoppable at some point. So
Oh yeah. I mean, we're all
it's
doing it.
it
This is. I am so out of my comfort zone. It's kind of it's
oh
crazy.
dude.
I barely had Facebook before this, and I went there every once in a while, and that was it. And now, doing YouTube, I would have never thought I'd be doing YouTube videos. Just
Same.
never. I was like, there's no
Never.
way. And
No,
here I am.
agreed.
And now my kids are into it, and they're doing
Hi,
it, and
hi.
it's
If they're gonna
so
watch it,
amazing.
say
I showed it
hi.
to them. Hey, who was there?
Oh no, I'm saying to your wee ones
Oh,
if they're gonna watch
oh
it.
yeah. Oh, they might. I don't know. I gotta tell you, I put them to sleep on my videos. After
Oh
the
well,
second one, my
yeah, your
9-year-old was
videos
like,
are that's learning, that's school,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. They
that's
can't
school.
they
So
can't take it. Yeah, yeah. They're doing ones on like Roblox, Bed Wars, those type of things. So,
oh yeah, well
but lots
here
of fun.
did you say roadblocks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like definitely well, we think that this is kind of where this is going, VeVe-verse wise.
That's.
Do you
I
think
was
your wee
having a
ones
thought about it.
would be interested in that sort of thing?
I think the VV-verse they will be interested in, especially when there's some games and adventures for them to do. Um, the way I see the VV-verse is I think it's going to be, or at least I imagine it, a Roblox for licensors. So
Mm,
I don't think
agreed.
we're going to go in and design games and put them up there and design our own little worlds. I think that capability is going to go to Marvel, to the movie houses, to the IPs, and then they're
Mm,
going to build something there that then we'll go to and enjoy
okay,
and,
okay.
partake in the games that they develop. And I've got a feeling that they're going to throw a lot of resources into creating this VV-verse with Yakomi. I don't think it's just going to be
Agreed,
Yakomi. I mean, the
agreed.
resources and the talent that Disney, well, maybe not necessarily Marvel for now, but
Mm-hmm.
the resources that are behind VV right now are going to make sure that this succeeds and that it's going to be a big hit because at the end of the day, it's their stuff that's being sold, right? It's their IP, and they're going to get used to this 6% recurring for the life of the product, for the life of it on the
Mm-hmm.
Zviverse. They're going to be getting residual income, and that is something that has never happened. I mean, there are going to be classes at Harvard on this business model that's being developed right now.
Do you think
Oh
so?
yeah. Oh,
Really?
absolutely. On this is a new business model that that we've never seen before. This capability's never been there.
Mm,
A company sells a product to a consumer, and that's it. They don't
mm.
see any more residual. The most they have to do is they have to return it, right? Somebody returns it, and then they got to give their money back. That's as
And that's,
far as
yeah,
any
that's
other
it.
secondary transaction comes. Now,
Mm.
every time that product gets handed to another person for a sale, they're going to get a piece of that action. I mean, it's never been done for artists before, and they started it. You know, they've been enjoying it, and now the business world is seeing, wait a minute, we can also enjoy this, and why not? Why shouldn't they? You know?
It's definitely going to
Yeah.
change the
Oh yeah.
landscape, the
I think so.
landscape, and I think that that's super interesting coming from like an education perspective and wanting to then, have other excuse me, have other businesses follow in the footsteps of, of Ecomi and what we're a part of right now,
Oh
and
yeah.
any
Oh,
other
they're going to be doing
companies,
it.
that implement the same. Is it economics? I guess would that be this?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that
We
what you
can.
would call it?
That works. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No.
So,
For digital things, this is going to be the new business model. Absolutely.
well,
Yeah. They're
and
not
there
going to
was
just sell digital
there.
things for one time. No. Every time it gets resold, they should get a piece of it.
Mm, and thinking to the VV verse and thinking to where this is eventually gonna end up, like what you're saying about the licensors being the ones to create the kind of worlds that we can then, immerse ourselves in,
Mm-hmm.
and experience. Um, there was a question last night, and it was a really good one, and it was about like so Fortnite, and the whole idea of Fortnite is it's kind of like a metaverse in itself already, just without the blockchain functionality. So obviously you
Right.
can buy stuff, like you say, you can buy it. You can't even return that stuff.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
that business
so
model is over with. They
yeah.
they can enjoy this for a little bit longer, and then their their users are going to demand it
Mm.
because I mean,
But this is what was
really,
super
it's not
super
fair.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was the question was, if Fortnite and the blockchain is, so great, why has it not been implemented in gaming before this? And why could Fortnite not just sort of flip a switch and start implementing blockchain technology or whatever? And I think that the answer was that it's just like a terrifying prospect for businesses that are already making such high income, for them to then change the way that they make income
Mm,
would be, they need to do it very incrementally to make such a huge change, like to introduce something like blockchain.
right.
Um, so I thought that was a really interesting point, and then that VeVe almost has the opportunity to introduce, all of us know about blockchain now first before the VV verses even come here, so there'll be no need to introduce anything like that. It's being built into that from the ground up,
Uh-huh.
whereas Fortnite and all of these other huge IPs would need to, strip right back, and then maybe, build from that, and
Yeah.
trying to get their users used to that idea. I think that'll be very difficult.
I think
Um,
their users are going to demand it. I don't think
mm.
they're going to stick around
Again,
and
I think
and
they'll
buy
just swap.
things.
They'll just go to somewhere else that they can,
First,
that
they're going to
already has
demand
that.
it, but how hard is it going to be for somebody to buy a new skin on Fortnite when they know that they can't do anything else with it except for wear it? And all the other
Mm,
games around them, all the people around them are like, yeah, I got this great sword, and now I can use it here. I can do this. I can then turn around and sell it. And it's
yep.
like now it's actually theirs. Before, there's this sort of a fantasy thing where you have to pretend, okay, that belongs to my character in the game, and it's the character in the game that owns all this stuff, and you kind of live through that vicariously. Now it's gonna be like, no, I own this, and I'm letting my character use it, and now I
Yep.
can do something else with it. I can sell
Mhm.
it. I can maybe one day take it and put it into another game. Or if they come out with a new version of the game, you can bring your items with you.
Yeah.
And I never quite understood why the games want to hold on and not allow people to resell what they got in the game. I mean, they
Mm.
got it, they put the work in
Yep.
it, they paid the money for the game. Why shouldn't they be able to keep it? You know,
No,
I
agreed.
never quite
Agreed.
understood that.
No,
The
agreed.
first online game VeVeVerse that I did was a game called Ultima Online, which was very, very old. But it was amazing. I loved it. I just got completely addicted to it. And in there, you could buy castles and then put them on the land. And once you put a castle on the land, essentially that plot of land now belonged to you because you had the castle. And it didn't
Okay.
take long for everybody to put castles down on the land so that there basically was no more land. So new people who wanted to come in, and they would form guilds and they would do things, they had no place to put their castle. So what happened? An economy grew up around that, and you would go to eBay and you would spend hundreds of dollars buying someone else's castle, right?
On
So
eBay?
people on eBay. And
What?
I think some of them got up into the thousands of dollars to buy a castle so that your guild or your group of people could have a place to come and congregate. And it was amazing. But the company didn't like that idea. And they're like, well, if we catch you selling your property on eBay, we're going to ban you. And it's like, but why? What?
Mm.
This has nothing to do with, this is my property. I bought it, right? It's a digital property. I just think at that time,
Oh, well, that's so
people aren't used to
interesting that
having it being
you
owned.
guys were doing that back. And when was that? What year was that you were doing that?
Ooh, 97, about
Oh,
97, I think. Yeah,
shut.
it was a while ago.
No
Yeah.
way.
The game is no
What?
longer around. I still have mine, and I'm
Dude.
thinking about selling it for the first time now because I want more money to buy
Don't.
collectibles, but it
Dude. So
the
you were
game
okay,
does mean a lot to me.
let me just get this straight. So you were selling your digital assets
Hmm.
on eBay in
Hmm.
1997.
Absolutely, yeah. They were being sold back then. It was land. I mean, it wasn't technically the land; it was the castle on the land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. But
you
you know,
couldn't
but
move the castle. It was the same thing. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
selling land,
But that
digital
was
land,
happening?
has been around. It was started, but yeah. Oh yeah.
What? Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I
my
know.
mind is
I
blown
know.
right now. Holy crap.
So for me, this isn't that. I mean, it's been there. We've been doing it, but now it's becoming mainstream and expected.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to expect it that when you play a game and you acquire something in the game, that item is yours. It's not. What are you going to do with it in the game? Once you've moved on to another game, you have to let all that stuff go. That's I don't know.
Which I think adding that to the mix of blockchain gaming and the VeVeVerse and what this is gonna eventually look like.
Mhm.
I think the idea, like I play games as well, but not like sort of. I know that people play games and they've played them for years and they've built up this huge, universe of their own with, like you say, their own ecosystem and
Yeah,
friends and resources and everything. And then if you want to do a new, if you want to try a new thing, you have to let that all go, park it, go do something else. Whereas I don't know if this is 100%. This is kind of what I'm sort of thinking and believing from what we've been told. Um, but the VV verse and all of this is going to be incremental, so it'll be constantly updated. It'll be, it'll only expand. It's not going to, implode. Um, and that each little component, as time goes on, will become more and more, um, I don't know, like more complex, and it'll have little additions and updates and
mm-hmm.
whatever. So
Absolutely.
I'm assuming that the gaming side and everything that you save and own will continue to just, you know, it'll be iterative as well. You'll have different, you'll maybe have this year saved and this year and this year, and it'll just, if it's blockchain built, then the idea is it will be there forever, and you can, I don't know if
It
you
will.
can't go back and alter, but you can build upon it rather than having to you know, when a new edition or a new version of the VeVeverse comes out, we're gonna just be able to take everything that we've had from day one with us, you know,
Oh,
instead of
absolutely. Yeah, no,
instead
that
of having to let
this
go of
is
it all.
the new expectation, the new baseline of how games are going to be created. And I think it's great because it can actually keep games going. Their lifespan or their life cycle, I think, could go further this way because people have grown attached to their items and they don't have to let it go and then start the game all over again, right? They
Yep.
can bring
Mm,
what was important to them with them. And
yeah,
so that might be more incentive to keep playing the series as it goes, as opposed to being like, oh, I have to start from scratch again. I have to,
exactly.
work everything up again. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky, but I definitely think we're reaching that level because I mean, metaverses have been around for a while,
Hmm.
and it takes a while for people to catch on. Have you heard of a place called Second Life? It was
Second Life,
really big. Second
I've
Life, you
heard of it,
have.
yes. I've heard
It
of it,
was
but I haven't
really
really
big, and I
looked
thought it
into it.
was going to change the world. I was like a Second Life evangelist, at the evangelical at the time. I was talking to everybody. My gosh, we're going to be working in this place. When people were selling, they were making their own clothes and selling them to other people. An economy was going on. You could buy property in it, but
Right?
it wasn't quite there. It's like the people weren't quite ready for it.
Mm,
Um, so it kind of died a very slow sort of, at least for me, it's sort of just, I imagine it's still there. Or like Google
oh, okay.
Glasses. Do you remember
There's a
Google
question.
Glasses? Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
Google Glass, but can you describe what Second Life is? Just is it it's like a video game or is it a
It was
computer game
essentially,
or
as far as I know, it was the first, the closest thing to what we're thinking of as a metaverse back, was it in the early 2000s or something? I can't remember exactly when
okay.
it first came out, but you had an avatar. Companies were buying property and building their own buildings there, so IBM had a place. All these different companies had buildings and you could go
What?
to, and people were holding classes. And you had an avatar and they floated around, and there were some games you could play. It was fairly primitive compared to what we're seeing now. um, but it was there, and it was kind of like the ushering in. But sometimes the technology, when it first comes out, people aren't quite ready for it, and it's kind of
Mm,
like you're just planting the seed. And that's what I was bringing up with Google Glasses when it came out. It was amazing, this new technology, but people just weren't ready for it.
yep.
The idea of it was just a little too soon to market. But we
Okay.
need somebody like that out there who can kind of like introduce, this is the new technology, and everybody's like, well, hold on, let's see, this is weird. But now, after the years, people are getting more adjusted to it. They're changing it a little bit. And now we're like, I can't wait for AR glasses to come out, right? I mean, it looks like it's going to be so amazing. Back then, I
It's
was like,
gonna
nobody
be
better look at me with
mental.
the AR glasses. With the Google glasses, if they look at me with it, I'm slapping that thing off because, it has a camera, and it's shining
Oh
at people all the time. It
yeah,
was like,
there.
get that
That's a
thing out
good
of here.
point. That's a good
But now it's like
point.
the usefulness that I'm going to see out of using it is going to trump that. The fact that I'm going to be able to put a TV up on the wall anywhere I am and watch it, and I can get rid of my physical TV and do something else with that spot is just, I mean, that it blows my mind
That's
what's coming.
crazy,
Yeah.
isn't
Hmm.
it?
Yeah.
Like thinking
Yeah.
back to moving the TV and it took
Mm.
your entire body weight to shift that thing. Do you know what I mean? And you're dragging
Yes.
it. Like,
Yeah.
and now we're gonna just,
We're
it's
going
gonna
to wear it.
float
Yeah.
in the ether on the
It could
wall.
float in the. We've seen that already in some of those speculations at the beginning where they had TVs up playing a movie in AR.
Dude,
It's
you know
already
what it is?
there.
It's Back to the Future when um is it the second one where he goes back to his old house and it's all futuristic and the he changes
Mm,
the flipping scenery on the window and
that's
has
right.
like
Yeah.
all of those sorts of things.
Yeah. That's it's
It's
it's coming.
it's
It's
it's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
mm,
And like
and
the whole
exciting.
AR, it's exciting. It's gonna
Mm.
be. It's going to be incredible. And to know that things like Second Life, things like that game that you were playing with the castles, things
Mhm.
like you know, this AR chat that I've kind of discovered, well, just recently sort of discovered
Yes,
in
I
the
have to
past couple
explore
of
more of that
weeks.
with you. Looks like fun.
Dude, 100%. And I would
Mm.
encourage everyone to check it out because, like you're saying, metaverses have been around for time. They've been around
Hmm.
and just not mainstream enough for people like us to, you know, to go in and really get to know it. But I went in, like, I've been going in sort of every other day, sort of thing, just to check it out, to try and find more worlds and that sort of thing. And I sort of talking to people or whatever. I was talking to one person and they were like, "You sound too normal to be in here. What's going on?" Like, because it was the way they all talk to each other, and it's a different world in there. Like the
Wow.
way, you know, the way people interact, like
Mm.
the just the whole. There's like an etiquette and there's like a way of being in these. It's like a gamer sphere. Like I feel like people in these worlds, they're so immersive that people really get into that second character that you can kind of
Mm.
create, you know, and they really get into that. And there's a lot of character playing, but there's a lot of people who are just in there to be themselves as well. So,
But that's great. That
you know,
character building, that
hmm
character being able to try on new characters, I think is so valuable for people. And I know that's why I love that first Ultima Online game, because it was kind of like a role playing game, and you could try on new characters. And
mm,
I wasn't in such a great place at that time, and to be able to do that and to interact and to have positive feedback from other people who are also enjoying the same world, it really helped change my life. It really did. And so
yeah,
that's kind of why I'm still
that's
holding on to the
amazing.
game. Yeah.
That's well, I wouldn't let it go for that reason because that's an incredible
Mm.
point. And I think that like I'm definitely someone that brings up and I'm concerned about the awareness of, you know, people's mental health when it comes into to just gaming and the digital world in general. We all really need to take care of ourselves and, you know,
Mm.
also be present in the real world and with the people around us in the real world. But on the same token, I totally agree with you in that, you know, there's people in the world that would find it much easier to put on a superhero avatar and, you know, walk around a digital environment where they can really just be themselves and not have any of those real world, um, you know, maybe judgment issues or stigmatized views or any of that sort of thing
Anxiety,
or
people with
anxiety.
social anxiety, you can
Absolutely.
put on this avatar and communicate, and then you can transfer some of that back into the real world, where you feel confident
Definitely.
in this world, and then you can start to feel confident in the
I
real world.
definitely
But
agree.
there's
I
definitely a
definitely
balance
agree.
there. We have to be out with people as well. The physical
Exactly.
contact,
Exactly.
yeah, is very
That's
important
where it
too.
has to come in. I think that like for people who have you know, possible social anxiety and find it hard to speak to people face to face, maybe the metaverse and speaking to people like this would maybe give you some confidence in your real life and speaking
Hmm.
to other people or but definitely like there's a fine line, you know, I I think that it's something that Ecomi and all of the family just need to be aware of. Because I, even myself, even in this flipping AR chat thing, I have clocked up some hours being in there in the past couple of, like, last week. It is, you know, it's like PC gaming and like gaming in general, you know,
Yeah,
it's just so, it's enticing and it's magical and wonderful to look at and experience. So I think that, you know, just tailoring our use, that's going to be something that we all need to
it
consider,
is. And
adults
I
and
think I
kids,
think
you
I've
know.
heard you mention that before, right? You said something where maybe they could have some sort of reminder that if you've been on
Hmm.
the app for so long, or you've been in the metaverse for so long, to, hey, listen, take a break,
Yep.
maybe
Yep,
even a forced
definitely.
break. That's Ready
Hmm.
Player One too. You need
Oh,
to see the
seriously? Is that
movie.
in
Oh
there?
yeah, you
Oh,
need
I
to see
know.
it at
I'm
the end of the
scared.
I don't want to give up the end of the movie, but that concern is completely brought in the movie, and
Good. Okay.
they're
Okay.
right on with it. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, definitely,
If not,
definitely.
it becomes the Matrix, where we just plug in and we're in this.
I
Have you
know,
seen the
like in the back,
Matrix?
and you're like just,
Exactly, and then we're just
but you're like,
yeah.
oh God, no,
We
please,
don't want that.
please,
We don't want to
no,
go there. We still need to
no,
be in
no.
this world. Yeah,
That's it exactly. And I think that yeah, like the internet, there's positives and negatives with everything,
exactly.
and I think again balance and people's perspectives, and the more of that you have, I think the easier it will be to implement these different perspectives. If you have all of those things from the beginning, and you're building your company or whatever it is you're doing, you have that at your foundation. Like, I don't want us to get 3 years down the line into this and then be thinking about mental health and then be thinking and worrying about, all of those
Hmm.
things. We really need to tackle that now, before it even arrives. So,
Absolutely. Which means we
you
need to
know.
go to some of these OMI parties that are coming up, because it's coming
Oh,
soon.
which
So are
one?
you planning? I don't. They're popping up everywhere. New York, I think at 5 cents. Then
Oh yeah,
Las
yeah. Oh yeah.
Vegas at
Las
$1, maybe.
Vegas.
Are
Heck
you guys having one in
yes.
England? Because
I think,
I'm telling
listen,
you,
I
if
think
it's $1, I'm coming. I'm coming to England again. I want to
100%,
come. Yeah.
100%. I was watching the stream earlier with Champ and Kay and Dan, and they were saying
Uh-huh.
about I think they put up a poll and they were saying about having a UK party at some point. So
Yes.
heck
London, maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
heck yes, I'd be
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
of
Yeah. You'll be down
course.
to London. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, VV like AR parties and stuff as well. Like that's just gonna be,
We got to get together, because this is
yeah.
wonderful. This is beautiful that we can communicate like this, but I still want to be there. I want to be able to see all of you guys in
Yeah,
real
we need to be
life
able to
and
cheers. We need to
have
be
a
able
pint
to
of
cheers
beer.
in real life.
Absolutely.
Yes,
You
man.
know, I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've talked for fucking, we've talked for long. This is amazing. See, I told you this time
I
flies,
know.
dude.
I was like, no, I don't think it's
Flies.
going to last that long.
See. Did you have
Yeah.
anything that you wanted to, like, I know we just go on a tangent. We don't really, like I said to you, don't have any notes or anything. So is there
Yeah.
anything that you wanted to, like, bring up or discuss or talk about or
No,
anything?
this was great. Just, I mean, we're just, what is it
Chin
called? A
wagging it out.
chinwag. A chinwag.
Chin
That's a new
wag.
term for me that I've learned. Just a chinwag. We're just enjoying it. There's
Just
no
yeah, just a wee
no
natter.
agenda, just
That's it.
chilling together, cup of
Yeah,
tea or something, and yeah, it's been
cup of
fun.
tea.
It's been a lot of fun.
Always. Pint of
Hmm.
tea. Pint
You're doing
of
pints of
tea.
tea now. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I swear to God, listen, see, whenever I went to university, the first day we all went out for a drink, just like my class, and I'm not a big drinker or anything. So I went into the pub in England and was like, you want to have a cup of tea? Can I get a cup of tea? He was like, we don't have any mugs, like the little mug with a
Yeah,
handle. So
in a
he was
pub.
like,
You asked for a cup
uh,
of tea in a pub.
in a pub, yeah, yeah, I did
No,
indeed, I did
I didn't
indeed,
know
and
you
I
could
was
do
like,
that.
I did, I was like, if you have a pint glass, that would do fine. Just give us a pint glass. So he gave me a pint of tea in like a Guinness, like a Guinness
Wow. Oh
glass.
my goodness.
The worst uni
I
student
can't.
ever. I can tell
I
you that
couldn't
much.
imagine that. In a
I
glass, you
know.
don't want to drink tea. Hot tea in a glass is not. You
It
need it
was
in
like
a
a.
cup
Oh
with a
yes, definitely
handle.
for safety. For
Definitely.
safety,
Yeah,
please do
safety
that,
too.
everyone.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I was a rebel, so I am a rebel. So,
And stay that way.
well,
That's good.
crazy,
That's what we
crazy.
need.
Well, dude, we've been
Yeah.
going for
So much fun.
1 hour and 24 minutes, dude.
That's wow. That's great.
So, isn't it insane?
It's
Let
so
me
good
just
to just
check
talk to
in.
you like this instead of always on text.
Dude,
It's
I
we
honestly,
need to
the
do this
amount,
more often.
for sure, the amount of
Yeah.
groups that are happening, and the, you know, the, because I about my dyslexia and stuff, so the reading
Oh yeah.
is just becoming super difficult. Like the amount of stuff
Oh
that you kind of have
wow.
to check up on and read every day is so difficult, man.
I
So
know.
I don't
I
know. I don't
know.
know. I'm gonna need to get like a speech function for my phone or something. I can just like select stuff, or I don't know. I'm gonna need to work it out, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well, you
but
do that. If
it's
not, we'll keep
wild.
talking. You do all those wonderful chats on Discord or on Twitter. Those are
They're
great.
so, yes, that's
I've enjoyed
so
it. I've
much
come to some of
easier
them
for
and
me.
I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's a good medium. But I know you got to
Yeah.
keep up with all the latest news, and a lot of it is reading and stuff. So a reader, and hopefully Ecomi is going to go with that, reader for the comics. I think that
Yep.
would be just really good for
That's
a
gonna be
lot of people.
huge.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
yeah, yeah.
huge. And I think that the fact that they're so responsive, that'll be something that will probably be implemented. It will definitely be implemented at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Because they're just so fab with listening to all of us and everything. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, it's this has been awesome, dude.
It's been
Definitely
so
doing
much
it
fun.
again.
It really has been
Definitely.
fun. I've enjoyed it.
And we'll make it a thing. I need to get back on my chinwag game. It's been a little while. I've
Yes,
kind of been on the Twitters and
I've
on
missed it. I've
the
missed it.
YouTubes and stuff. So slacking a little bit on the chinwags,
Excellent.
but we'll get there. We'll get
Do it.
there.
Ron English, right? You're setting one up with Ron English?
Who
I'm looking forward to
is
that. I thought
who
you
a
were.
chinwag? A chinwag?
Well, what are you doing with Ron English? Didn't you mention
I'm
that
not doing.
in your five W's
Didn't think
or
I was
was it Kozik?
mentioning. Oh no no
No?
no!
Did I
But
see
not
something?
mentioning anything. But
Well,
not about
I think
Ron.
we
That would
can.
be a bloody
Okay.
dream. Jesus. But Frank, I don't know. Never
Oh, it's
know.
Frank. Okay. Yes.
I've
No.
no. There's no interview planned or anything like that. Jeez.
Nothing. Okay.
But we'll
We have to
see
make it
what
happen. We're gonna
comes.
get over in
We'll
Clubhouse
see.
and say, hey, listen, come talk to
Yeah.
some of us VV people. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like Frank is he's so sound. He's
Mm,
just out in his garden every day on Clubhouse, chilling and chatting to people. So he's so approachable, and I would
yeah.
encourage everybody to get onto Clubhouse because there's a
That's good.
bunch of artists over there that are just so accessible and so cool to just sit and listen to them and their process. Like, every day they're on there.
Mm,
So definitely get over there and
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, sign up there. And please, I need to say that Orion, you knows the crack already, but Orion has been a integral, I can't stress this enough, an integral part of my journey, of my partner's journey into crypto and learning, my family, my friends, that you really have just,
Oh,
touched
wow.
a lot of people in my life, and now through all of this, it's just honestly, mate, you really have. You've taught me a
Oh my
lot of
gosh.
stuff that I will be able to take into my life into the
And you
future.
have
So,
too, by the way, for me, because in order for me to explain it, I have to understand it even better. And so it's a real check on me. So you've helped me grow just as much.
and your videos, dude, the fact that you're now able to
Uh,
share your videos and share the way in which I was able to learn and share that with everyone else, I think that's just, it's a
oh yeah.
huge, properly commend yourself for that, man,
Oh,
because,
thank you. And
you know,
everybody out there needs to know that it is OBL who got me really to go and start doing videos and stuff, because it was our communication that we were doing back and forth. She's like, oh yeah, you have to go do that. You got to do it. I want to learn that way too. So it's to you. So thank you for getting me
oh,
out of my
bud,
comfort zone and doing something. And I really do enjoy them. It's a lot of fun.
and you're
Not
so
easy.
good.
Some of them are
You're
not
so
easy
good,
to
dude.
do, but yeah.
But you're a natural. You make it look dead easy, like you really do, because you really do, because, and I said this to you 6 months ago, man, that you're the way that, and I thought that you were a teacher. I thought that was your like profession because of
No.
how easily you were able to break down this huge concept into these tiny little crumbs.
Mm,
And that's a talent in itself to be able to even do that. So, keep it
thank
up.
you.
Keep it
Yeah.
up. Please, you got to for
We
the
all got to
community,
keep it
but
up. Just keep going. We're all going to keep going, and we're all going to meet in the metaverse and in LA and London.
and in LA
I want
and
a London
London
one too. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ireland.
And
I would love
Ireland too.
everybody
Yes,
to
let's
come
do
to
Ireland too.
Ireland.
Oh, I'd love
Yeah,
to. I've
heck
only set my
yes.
foot there briefly, and then I need to see more of it. Yeah.
Definitely, dude. Well, you know my door's always open.
Ah,
Always an OBL couch for all the fans. So
love
we've
it.
got people. We're definitely having people come to Ireland at some point if this all ends up being what we believe it will. I don't think that should be a problem.
No,
So
no, this community is amazing. It's a family. It really feels that way.
it really is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, man. So we'll just wrap it up,
All
I
right.
guess. An hour and a
Yes.
half on the button.
So
So
much fun.
Orion, you're a ledge,
Ah,
living ledge, hot, and please continue
you
to do
too.
what you're doing for the community. We're
Absolutely.
gonna do
Oh, I'm
this
still
again,
here. Let's do it. Absolutely.
100%. So you just sit
All
tight
right.
there, dude.
Yeah.
You just don't go
Okay.
anywhere. I'll just
Okay.
end the stream. Just want to say thank you to everybody
Everybody,
for
thank you. Bye.
watching. Thank you for watching. You're absolute legends. Love you all so much. See you soon.
Yep. See ya.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.